Oh, guys, good, you're here. I am so excited. Guess what? I hope this isn't about your podcast again. Why, did you finally listen to it?
The Groomer Next Door is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Gobble, 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 gobble.
Let's do the turkey dinner dance. Come on, let's go. Join right in and follow me. You can do it fast or slow. Turkey to the left, cha-cha-cha. Turkey to the right, cha-cha-cha. Turkey up and turkey down. Turkey all around. Suing gravy to the left, cha-cha-cha. Suing gravy to the right, cha-cha-cha. Suing gravy up and down. Suing gravy all around. Mashed potatoes to the left, cha-cha-cha. Mashed potatoes to the right, cha-cha-cha. Mashed potatoes up and down. Mashed potatoes all around. Pumpkin pie to the left, cha-cha-cha. Pumpkin pie to the right, cha-cha-cha. Pumpkin pie up and down. Pumpkin pie all around. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Gobble, 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 gobble.
And here's your host, my mommy and daddy, Chris and Stella Green.
Hello and welcome to the Groomer Next Door, episode 101. I'm your co-host, Chris Green. Sitting next to me is Sarah.
Hello.
And here's Claire.
Hey.
Well, before we actually start the show, I want to actually take a brief moment to actually pay tribute to all the victims of this past Friday the 13th Paris attack. So let's just take a moment and pay our tribute. Alright, well, with that said, we do actually, sympathize with everybody who was affected in this past tragedy, and our hearts and prayers go out to all of you. Now, let's move on to our show. This week, we actually have a really full show. Everything happened a week ago. We were part of an adoption event that was put together by PCAWL.
Here in town.
Yep, here in town, by Phelps County Animal Welfare League. We will actually have that. It's our main story. It's a really cool little full story with an adoption that actually happened and just great stories. You want to add anything on that one? No. And we're going to have our normal routine of our fun games and everything that we like to play. So let's dive into the weekly roundup.
The weekly roundup, yeah.
All right, this week on our weekly roundup, we're actually going to have a very brief weekly roundup this week. It was very straightforward. We had, a lot of dogs, and then we had people that fell off.
Yeah, people that cancel or no show. When you make your grooming appointment, make sure you know where you're taking your dog. Because we had somebody make an appointment with us, and then their grandson took the dog somewhere else, and she didn't even know who we were, but she's an older lady, a very, very, very older lady.
Yeah, she's definitely older,
and she loves her dog. She loves her dog to death.
Well, she has Keith come and pick it up.
Yeah.
So she doesn't really know. Somebody picks up the dog, takes it to us. There's really very little hands-on for her.
And she said that she had her grandson take the dog to get shots, and then to get groomed. No, you shouldn't do that. You should not take your dog to get shots and then groomed, because the injection site is going to be sore. The dog is going to be PO'd anyways, because you just took him to the vet to get shots. And then you go and take it to get groomed.
Right.
Don't do it. Try not to. Even if you're using, you're like, oh, I'm going to take 2 birds, 1 stone, and I'm going to take him to the vet and the groomer at the same time, in the same day, so I don't have to go out later.
The risk is the groomer very likely could get bit.
And just by petting the dog on its back, you can explain, hey, look, I took my dog to the vet, now I'm going to get it groomed, so be careful. Well, what happens if they have an allergic reaction to the shot? What happens if they start throwing up? It's just stuff that you don't need to push and force your dog through because you don't want to get out of your house another day.
Right. Yeah, that's the danger. So, as we've had very little to talk about, that is the main thing that did stand out. And, I meant to write that down, by the way. I meant to write that down. All right, well, that concludes Weekly Roundup because, again, we worked 6 days. That's the other thing. We did do 6 days. That's going to be happening pretty much for the rest of the year. The only times we won't do it will be
Christmas and Thanksgiving?
Yep, Christmas, Thanksgiving. So, I don't know when New Year's lands, but anyway.
Oh, yeah. Normally, we take New Year's Day off, not New Year's Eve.
Right.
If it falls.
And, of course, the audience always gets louder even though we hit ourselves somewhere with a microphone.
That's what happens when you go out in public.
Apparently
when people
so.
that really want to be known and they want to be seen, they end up talking louder than what they really want.
Or sitting really close to where we're at.
Listen to me, I got so much to talk about.
It drives me
I'm
nuts.
so important. I got gaudy earrings on and everything. I'm so fashion forward, but I'm like 90 years old. I'm sorry.
Let's move on to G&D news.
Yes, please.
All right, this week on G&D News, we have 2 stories for you. The first one, it actually is about artificial sweetener that is in gums and in some candies, and it's by the name of xylitol. We'll actually play the clip for you guys. It's a full story, and we'll discuss that. And then there's a sweet little story about pups in the classroom helping kids learn to read. So, with that said, let's dive into the first one, which is the one about xylitol. So, Claire, play that clip.
An alarm is being raised tonight about a potential danger to your pet. A sweetener used in some sugarless gum and other products could kill a dog. Here's Chip Reed.
Come here. What'd you find?
Sam Caress and Jordan Pellet recently adopted Gunner. He's helped fill the hole in their hearts created when 2-year-old Luna died in April after getting into some chewing gum made with the sugar substitute xylitol. She started vomiting and they rushed her to the vet, but it was too late.
Her kidney tests weren't good. They were shutting down, and that we didn't really have any other choice than to put her down.
Xylitol is safe for humans, but can cause severe low blood sugar, seizures, even liver failure in dogs. Sugar-free gum is the biggest culprit, but xylitol is also used in some sugar-free candies, chewable vitamins, even some baked goods and peanut butter. The number of products is on the rise, and so are the calls to the ASPCA's Animal Poison Control Center, from 82 in 2004 to more than 3,700 last year. Some animal welfare groups are calling for warning labels on products with xylitol. Dr. Ashley Gallagher with the Friendship Hospital for Animals in Washington says the key is vigilance on the part of dog owners.
You just have to be really careful because dogs are nosy little creatures and they're hungry all the time. I know my dogs are, and they're always looking for a treat. So you have to really watch them. Go.
Sam and Jordan go one step further.
With a lot of things like candy and gum and peanut butter, chocolates, we check all of them, and if they have xylitol in them, we don't buy them.
Dr. Gallagher says what dog owners like me should do is go through the kitchen and analyze everything, especially anything that says sugar-free. If it has xylitol in it, either get rid of it or put it way up in a top cabinet, far out of the reach of these guys. Charlie? Great dogs, Chip.
All right, so now you guys have actually heard what xylitol can do to your dog. Now, we were talking about this earlier about how it could also affect probably cats as well because of Winnie and because of Rambo. So what were we talking about off air?
Winnie's a cat that loves to eat human food, and he always gets into everybody's stuff. So I would, if you have a cat or an animal like that, I would definitely be worried about what is in your cupboards and what can they get to. If you have any animals that are just food driven.
Yeah, we have, all of our cats, one of them is actually very much food driven, and of course the foster was definitely food driven. So you have to be very careful. And with Claire, she eats Trident gum to preserve her teeth and help in between brushing. So we have to actually watch that. And one thing I didn't understand with what this lady said is, we worry about our chocolates. It's like, well, that's the first thing I worry about.
Yeah, because chocolate is a double whammy if you have that artificial sweetener in it, and it's got cocoa in it.
Yep.
It's a double whammy. There's no coming back from that, because dogs are allergic to the chocolate,
yep.
Not the sugar, not the milk that's put into it. It's the artificial sweetener and the cocoa. The darker the chocolate, like there's some specialty chocolate out there that is like, what is it, 92% or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Dark chocolate. Those are the ones that can hurt your dog quickly. We covered this a while ago, but the darker the chocolate, the less it takes to kill the dog.
Right. And so, look at how you react to aspartame. Aspartame can be very deadly with, well, not deadly, but give you
if I drink, I remember one time Arby's screwed up with my drink and they gave me Diet Dr. Pepper versus Dr. Pepper. I know I don't feel very good if I drink it and take aspartame, but it's whatever. I was too busy. Well, I took one of their small drinks and I drank less than half. I took probably about 4 or 5 real quick drinks. I was thirsty. And that was the worst mistake I've ever made. I ended up with a major migraine. I started getting very nauseous. I started vomiting, and it was horrible.
Yeah, aspartame and you do not agree.
No, it doesn't agree with my mother either.
I think I've actually had by accident like a Diet Pepsi or Diet something, and I also didn't feel good. I just read somewhere recently that I think aspartame is going to be taken off of the market, or at least labels about it. It's become a real problem, and I do agree that if candy makers need to put a warning if xylitol is in this candy, whether it's gum, vitamins, whatever, that there should be a lot larger warning label just in case.
Excuse me, they really need to. I mean, they have one for peanut allergies and such, and some people that are lactose intolerant, they put milk products or any kind of a nut allergy, whether it's almonds or whatnot. It needs to say it, because there are so many allergies popping up nowadays for the different things that are being put into the food.
Right. I mean, look at Claire. Her class has a peanut-free zone. No peanut butter is allowed, and there's other classes that are the same way.
The big old signs on the front door, no peanut butter in here.
Yeah.
So that means when she had her Halloween candy party, there was no Reese's Pieces, no anything, no Paydays. I think Paydays or Baby Ruths. Can't have any of those. So you gotta watch what kind of stuff's inside the candy too.
Yeah, very true. And on to our next story. Our next story comes, I was thinking of Claire when I actually heard this story, so I was like, oh, I love it. Pets in the classroom. So, Claire, play that clip.
Well, we have a new definition of teacher's pet. Therapy dogs are putting in extra hours at a 4th grade class in Charlotte, North Carolina, helping kids read. The pups' names are Rosie, Wilson, and Drew. They're known as scholars. Students read to the dogs instead of to their teachers. It's part of a 6-week program to prepare the kids for a crucial reading test. And the therapy dogs appear to take the pressure off and help build confidence.
Dogs are non-judgmental. They're not going to correct a child or criticize a child if they miss a word.
When I'm in class, I read, but sometimes I stumble over words, but I found them out, and then I get them.
So great. Teachers say it's been a positive experience for the students, and now they're thinking of reading as fun and not work.
So self-explanatory kind of, clip. It was pretty cute, pretty fun. I love how the kid was saying, I sometimes have a problem reading, and then I read to the dog, and it's all better. And it's like, that's so cute to me.
Well, growing up, there's so many stresses in life. There's so many people that are watching you, expecting you to excel. I mean,
or fail.
Yeah, exactly. It's stressful.
Yeah.
Here, you can be as open as you want with this dog. Dog's not going to judge or anything like that. You don't have to worry about being smart. Nothing like that. You just relax. Stress levels go down.
Yeah.
I myself hate working with people. It's annoying. It's like I just want to throw a book at somebody right behind you.
You throw, yeah. Continue your early joke.
But, you know, working with dogs, there's something about it that calms you down. And it's so soothing and relaxing.
How many times did I say that this week?
Exactly. We were talking with Keith, and I told him one of the number one things that I learned back in my beginning years is that when you're getting stressed out and things are getting a little too overwhelming, you go in that back, you pick up a pup, and you start loving on that dog. You start petting him, you start having fun. You go into the cat and pick up Winnie and start playing with Winnie because Winnie is an instant purr.
Yeah.
Buddy, go pick up Buddy. Buddy can't go anywhere.
I sometimes go to the small breed den on the boarding dogs, and oh my gosh, what a remarkable time. I mean, I did it a couple times this week.
Yeah, just enough
because
to lower your blood pressure.
You can just talk to them, and that's what this is. These kids are able to freely be able to read to these dogs, and they don't have to worry about that public reading. I mean, I remember in especially, you know, early stages of elementary when the teacher would say, okay, Chris, stand up and read this part of the book, and you're standing there reading out loud to the entire class. And the stress level, because you want to make sure you get all the words right, and that's when you start jumbling your words and slurring your words.
Yeah, I'm horrible at public speaking or reading from a paper publicly. I start stuttering. Oh, it's horrible.
But you do a podcast really well.
This is different. This is more, you know.
You have a live studio audience, and you're okay with this.
Yeah, but ask me to re-record something and see what I do.
Touche.
Anyway, but yes, I think it's pretty great that the kids get the dogs there to kind of just relax, and they don't have to deal with the pressures. And when they need help, they can get help when they're ready for it. But for the most part, it's nice to finally relax, you know, because some of the kids can't relax at home. Some of the kids don't have a good home life, you know. We try to teach Claire, look, you haven't made, you have a good life at home. There's kids out there that don't. Well, so be thankful for what you have.
Well, that's what it's like. It's like I tell her, hey, let's go and record something for the podcast. Let's do a song. And she looks at it and goes, oh, well, this is probably what every kid does. You know, I record music, or I do, you know, little sign things for, you know, these little, you know, segment pieces. Yeah, it's not like that. It's not how the world works. So, you know, this is an actual opportunity for these kids to be able to have a free and open environment for them.
Yep.
All right, well, that concludes GND News for the week. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the game show that's sweeping the nation. It's bigger than the Ronda Rousey fight. It's bigger than anything that's happened. Oh, yeah, maybe not. No. Well, anyway, it's still big in some sense. All right, it's time for Guess the Breed.
Guess the breed. With your host, Chris Green.
All right, contestant, are you ready this week to actually try to win get back in your winning ways? Because last week you didn't get that win, and you're still upset about it.
That was bogus.
All right, contestant, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, you know the rules.
No.
Let me ask all the questions, and then at the end, when I finish giving you all these answers of what the breed might be, you can ask a couple questions, and then give us your answer. You sure you're ready?
Yo.
Okay. This dog's origin is from Scotland. Okay. The male average between 65 and 75 pounds. The females are between 60 and 70 pounds. The height is between 23 to 24 inches on male. Female is 21.5 to 22.5 inches for female. The coat is straight or moderately wavy. The color is any shades. I'm not going to give you the colors. That'll kill me on that.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Okay, fine. Yellow or cream? Do you have any idea? And it's a large breed.
Large breed at 24 inches isn't exactly big.
It's considered large breed.
Does it get a haircut?
There are people that do. I mean, it is a trim. It's definitely double coated. There are people that do shave them down, but...
Do I shave many of them down?
Not since I've been here.
I expect me to know this?
It's bred as a gun dog to retrieve shot waterfowl such as ducks and upland game. It is instinctive love of
Irish
water.
Wolfhound?
That's your answer.
No. No, because you said 24 inches, right? For the males?
Yes.
No. Wolfhounds are
She's measured. She's got her hands measuring up and down. She looks like her hands in an elevator going up and down.
I was like, okay, that's 12 inches.
That's 12
that would
inches.
be 24. And Irish Wolfhounds are bigger than that.
Okay, common use
Oh,
is
they're
as
not
a
those
guide
colors
dog.
either.
Guide dog, a hearing dog for the deaf, hunting dog, detection dog, and search and rescue.
Oh, I can picture it in my head.
Oh, she can picture it, folks, but that's not the answer. We need an answer. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. The pressure's on. Are you gonna make the wrong guess 2 weeks in a row? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. This is a very short show.
What kind of hair type?
I don't remember.
Did you say like kind of curly?
I think I said wavy, but let me go and look at my notes here. Straight or moderately wavy.
I'm gonna be mad. Oh, there goes a raptor.
That's good. That's not the answer, though. Is that your answer? No. Judges, are we going to accept raptor? I'm sorry, they will not accept raptor. Come on. Is that your answer?
What do they look like?
They look like a dog. Come on, they've got a tail, 2 ears.
And you said they're from the what group?
I said they're a large breed dog.
Oh God.
Come on.
I don't know.
I need an answer. You want to go with your original answer?
No, because they're not those colors. And they're a lot bigger than 24 inches high.
Come on. It's not that difficult. This one is not that difficult.
I'm overthinking it.
You are overthinking it. And this is why I chose this dog, because I knew you would overthink it. Come on. Now, folks, if you have an idea at home, I hope you're yelling at either your computer or you're yelling at your device that you're listening to the podcast. It's a sporting dog.
I'm not very good with sporting breeds.
I guarantee you're going to kick yourself.
Or you, because you're in front of me.
Maybe. Folks, I may not be here next week. Occupational hazard.
Cream colored?
Yep. They are a yellow or cream. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. She's still thinking, folks.
An Irish breed.
I said their origin is Scotland.
Oh.
Come on, we need an answer. We need an answer.
I don't know. I give up.
I'm sorry. I don't know is not a breed.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day.
The answer is Golden Retriever.
No, they're not Scotland breed, are they?
They're Scotland. Origin is Scotland.
I shave those down all the time.
You don't do them as much now. I do them.
Are you kidding me? I just got done with one not too
Here we
long
go
ago.
again, folks.
Pat Francis
Here we
dog.
go again. She is going to protest it. This is 2 weeks in a row that you have not.
No, I groom a ton of those guys. I shave them down all the time.
Thank you, contestant, for playing. But I'm sorry, you get nothing. Good day. And thank you for playing Guess the Breed.
This is a pet adoption corner. How much is that doggy for adoption? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggy for adoption? I do hope that doggy's for adoption. How much is that doggy for adoption? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggy for adoption? I hope that doggy's available.
And now on to our main topic of the week. Well, last weekend we actually were asked to volunteer with PCAWL outside of the Aaron's store right here in Rolla for an adoption event. Now, it came to us very quickly. It was actually quite comical how it happened. Sarah did her normal "I love you" kind of thing. I didn't look at my phone at the time. But I'm actually gonna pass this over to you to explain how this whole thing came about, and then we're gonna talk about the event.
Well, Friday, insane, absolutely just busy day, and all of a sudden my phone goes ba-ding.
Now this is a week ago, Friday.
And I glance at my phone because you never know who it might be. It might be somebody important. It might be my mom. It might be something. So I glance and I look, and it's Glenda from PCAWL. And I was like, okay. And I look at it, and they said that somebody had a family emergency and really needed some help with the event in the morning and such. Well, I sweetly and politely and
Sweetly and politely, I love that.
asked Chris, you want to do something Saturday morning? You know, mind you, this is going to be our only Saturday off
Until
for the
Thanksgiving.
until Thanksgiving, because we're working the next Saturdays after that. And your reaction was priceless. Nope.
Nope.
I'll show up at 10.
Well, okay, let me explain this. One of my rules that I have, and I put this on myself, is I like to do as many events as possible, but I want to make sure that I block it out for a 2-hour event. That way, if I run longer, I don't feel like, oh, it's too much. And the other part is we do a lot of events. We do a lot of different things. And if I do more than the 2 hours, I feel like it's a job. So if I go into something not thinking of it as a job, I have a better approach. It's come down to learning how to do all this, because we do have a great deal of demand, and that I appreciate more than I can say. But if I say, yeah, I'll do 4 hours, and I've done the 4 hours, afterwards I feel like I just got done with work. It's not that right feeling. So I always say I'll do 2 hours, and I'm cool with it. And I don't subject you. I don't subject you to limited of time. If you wanted to do 4 hours, I'm cool with it. Right?
Right.
Okay.
So she needed somebody there between 8 and noon. And the event only lasts till 2. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I get there, we help set up, and everybody's kind of moving around. It's early. We get all set up, and then I was like, wait a second, aren't we supposed to have pets here?
Well, yeah, it is a dog adoption.
Yeah, a dog and cat adoption.
Which I didn't know there was a cat. I did not know that there was cats.
Yeah,
until
I'm looking around and I'm like, there's no animals here. What are we doing here? And they're like, oh yeah, we're supposed to go to the Rolla Animal Shelter and pick them up. Like, oh, well, one of the girls that was there knew more about the prices of the t-shirts, how the raffle's working, and what is going to transpire. So she was left to man the booth area, a big old pop-up tent and everything. And then Shelly and I and Jewel went to pick up the animals.
Right.
It actually took a while.
It did. Okay, now here's where I come into the picture. I showed up early, much earlier than I told Sarah I would show up. Got up, had something to eat, looked at the clock, I went, well, I'm going to show up early. So I got dressed and I'm out the door, and I call you up and go, did they actually change the venue? Because I didn't think that there was nobody there, and it was just, I didn't see any animals. I'm like, this is odd.
Yeah, just a pop-up tent. And a couple tables, and that was it.
So I thought, they might have changed the event last minute, because, things like this do happen. And you're like, no, I'm just at the Rolla Animal Shelter right now. I'm picking up dogs, and I'll be there in a few minutes. So I'm like, oh, cool, okay. So I went, and I met with the girl, and it was funny because I've never done any events with her before. So she's like, hi, I'm with PCAWL, and this is and so I let her do the spiel. We're doing a dog adoption event that starts at 10 o'clock. Can I help you with anything? I go, oh, it's okay. I'm Chris, and I'm actually working this event as well. My wife's Sarah, and she's over at the shelter. Oh, okay. And it was cold. It was so cold when I first got there.
Oh, you should have been there at 8.
No, I was asleep at 8. I was only asleep for a few minutes after that, though. That's the sad part.
So we get over to the shelter, and unfortunately, and it did kind of hurt a little bit, but the veterinarian, Dr. Winfrey, is sick.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, something happened. She wasn't able to get to the shelter to administer the shots to some of the pups that were there. And we're looking, and they only have 5. There were 6 dogs.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9. Probably 9 dogs.
I know the 2 Chihuahuas that were surrendered.
And there's another Chihuahua.
Okay.
There's a black lab that needs to be worked with in the back. He seems a little scared. It could be a little nippy.
Okay.
But I think he just needs some owners that are used to
and patient
working with these type of knowledgeable.
That too. That does help.
This Pomeranian Pekingese mix. It's only got, John said, the dog with the 4-inch legs. And then there was this, it looked like a Lab and Great Dane mix. Wasn't terribly big, but a lot bigger than a Lab. And then it looks like almost like a Border Collie mix of some sort. It's short hair though.
Right.
Then there was a Pit Bull and a Lab mix there. Well, John went through and found out that the Pit Bull was up to date on shots, and the Lab was up to date on shots. And those 2 were the ones that have been there the longest. The one that's been there the absolute longest was Lab mix. So I looked at Shelly, I was like, can I take the Pitty with me? Can I take the Pitty in my car? Please let me take the Pitty. And they're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I got her in the car, and she was very excited to be out. She was running around back and forth in the car, and I was like, okay, we got to secure you. So I anchored her down and gave her enough to move. She kept trying to come up in the front seat with me.
I believe it. Yeah, she was a sweetheart, which we have more on that story.
And then the other one, the mix that everybody's called him Biscuit. That wasn't his name. He did not come to the shelter with a name. So everybody's calling him Biscuit because he kept eating all the biscuits, the doggy biscuits. So that seemed appropriate. He rode fine in a car. Shelly didn't have a problem. So we had these kittens in one car with Jewel, and then the Lab, and then I had the Pitty.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm gonna actually take a sidebar here. I'd like to thank Aaron's. Really like to thank Aaron's for allowing this event to happen. In a moment, I want to actually play an interview with the general manager of the Aaron store here in Rolla. Kim was really nice enough to sit down with us and do a small interview so that we could get to know them and what they're doing in this community.
And what was great about Aaron's is all the staff.
Yeah.
And Kim herself. the general manager of the store, kept coming out and making sure that we were okay.
Yes.
They were making sure that we were comfortable, if there was anything that we needed. They brought us out some water that we handed out and such. So they really took care of us.
They did. They were really amazing. So let me stop you there because I want to introduce Kim and let you guys actually hear her. And
yeah, they
definitely deserve a lot of praise. And if you are in the Rolla area, we do really ask, take a drop by, say hi to them. You may even see something you want to actually.
Because what they were willing to do, and we didn't have this happen because nobody was interested, but if we have another event like this, we're going to push it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Because they deserve this.
Yeah.
They were willing to pay for the adoption fee if someone were to open up a new account.
Right. And
so
we did cover that in this interview.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
okay,
yes.
I was making sure that got mentioned because that was just
No, it needs extra mentioning because not only was the general manager 100% on top of it, the owner of this, Aaron's John, who is a local fixture in this town, is also a very big supporter of animals and what PCAWL is doing. And, that's one thing that we like to do is we actually like to promote people like this.
And I believe he will be donating.
Yes, he is.
To the Rolla Animal Shelter.
Yes, he is. Kim will mention it. Kim mentions it in the interview.
Well, I'm sorry, I wasn't there at the interview. I have yet to hear it. I will hear it soon.
I know.
But I'm not.
It was a lot of things going on. So I'm going to take a sidebar and let's listen to the interview with Kim, the general manager of Aaron's. Hello, I'm sitting here right now with Kim from Aaron's. Thank you for joining us and thank you for being part of PCAWL's adoption event this week. And I'm just going to turn the mic over to you and tell us how PCAWL came about, how they approached you and how all this happened.
Okay, hi, I'm Kim. I've worked for Aaron's for about 8 years now. Love Aaron's, love what they do. We sell and lease out furniture, electronics, home appliances for our customers. And the Phelps County Animal Welfare League was actually one of their workers is a customer with us.
Okay.
And she had approached us for a donation. And so I had came up with an idea about doing some maybe cross-marketing with them. And I didn't know if maybe they would move have like a mobile shelter, and maybe we could drive up some business for them and drive up some business for us. And so we put our heads together and came up with our Adopt a Pet Day at Aaron's, and we had a special going on for the customers, for them and for our customers. If they wanted to open up a lease, we would pay adoption fees. And that way the shelter would benefit with the animals being adopted, and we would benefit from having customers. So that's
win-win.
Yes, absolutely. So
well, that's always an amazing thing when a company actually will go and work with a shelter and a nonprofit to actually kind of cross-promote it. Now, has this happened before, or is this the first time?
This is actually the first time for us. We are always trying to come up with ideas to market with other businesses, maybe cost-effective marketing. A lot of businesses don't want to spend the thousands of dollars that it costs for advertising. So basically, that's really our meat and potatoes of the business, is just cross-marketing, constantly getting your name out there, but for an inexpensive or free price.
Mm-hmm.
So we're always looking for those ideas.
And it is a great opportunity because we're able to be outside there. You're coming back and forth. We had an adoption already, so that was great.
Right.
And so it benefits the entire community. Is there anything else that you have planned in the future with PCAWL?
Yes, I think this event, I was really excited to see the families come. I'm a pet lover myself, so I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. It was the first time, like I said, and I was amazed of how many people have come out to look at the animals. And maybe if they didn't adopt one today, maybe tomorrow, or they'll be able to go to the shelter and help some of these animals out. And getting their name out there and, coming by us and seeing what we do as well. So I'm excited to do this next year, and maybe in the spring when it's warmer, maybe even have a bigger turnout. Make it an annual thing.
Well, that's definitely one of the things that I know Glenda, who's president of the organization, she will always look towards you guys probably now for more events. And yes, it is a little cold, but it's not too bad. It could be worse, especially this time of year.
Yes, that's for sure.
And one of the things I actually heard right away was how you guys were doing the, if somebody opened up a new contract with you guys, that you would pay off the adoption. That was really cool. And unfortunately, one of the kittens had to go back to the shelter. But people are actually interested in that cat. So you've raised awareness, which helps.
I'm really happy about it. Like I said, I'm an animal lover myself, and it breaks my heart to see any animal in a cage. And our store is located, fortunately, right by a highway. A lot of traffic, so just people coming in and just seeing what the shelter does, and just to help out in any way, taking any donations. We were able to get with Walmart.
Oh, good.
And they donated a $30 gift card. It wasn't much, but it was better than nothing. And that's really the way I looked at it. And we our staff here at the store, thanks to John Keller, our owner, purchased quite a number of t-shirts, made that donation, and he's going to also be making another donation to the shelter as well. So we're really excited about that.
That was actually something I was going to mention. I was like, wow, all of you guys are wearing Strut Your Mutt shirts from PCAWL, and that was really cool. That happened immediately when I first arrived. And that was what I was going to mention. See, you're a pro. You're doing just fine.
Yeah.
You were worried about this. It's all easy, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, we do thank you for all that you've done. Thank you to the owner of Aaron's. And thank you, Kim, for being part of this.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me, and we look forward to do it years to come.
Cool. Again, thank you to Kim for taking the time to actually sit down with us. Like I had mentioned, we'll be most likely doing more events over with PCAWL at the Aaron's location. Like we had mentioned in the interview, we'll probably do it more or less in springtime. But we're gonna, we'll find a way. We'll find something to do, and hopefully, make a larger event, and that'll be a lot of fun.
We need to work together as a community.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to get together and help. I know the food pantry is in need of help. So if anybody in the Rolla area has a chance to buy a bag of dog food or get a couple cans of cat food or something along those lines and donate to the food pantry for low-income families are trying to support their pets too. You donate there, and they have folks go and fill out paperwork to verify that you do need help.
Right.
And let's help.
And if anybody in the local area have any questions about that, you can always drop us an email at thegroomer.nextdoor@yahoo.com. And any kind of questions you have, we will answer them immediately. So anyway, back to our, the story. Now, we have some good news on this story, so that's why I want to jump into the good news.
Yes, I was so excited about this. So, going back to this little pit bull that I just fell in love with looking at her.
Very sweet dog.
I even let her lick my nose through the cage because, I didn't know anything about this dog, but she was standing up and she was looking at me like, take me. And
yeah, it's like that little child syndrome where it's like, pick me, and her arms raised and they're waving her arm really high.
Super cute, her tail's wagging. Let's see how much more, I can be just cutified. So, it was a little rough to start out with at first. She was so excited to be out of the kennel that she was just pulling everywhere. And I knew that was going to happen. Somebody else tried to step in to control the situation, and it didn't work. It's a delicate line that you have to kind of go across with some dogs. Some dogs are
this is a whole new environment. This dog had been in the shelter for about a month, maybe a little bit longer. I know it was October.
Yeah, it was like mid-October.
Okay, so almost a month has been in there. Has not been outside of the shelter since.
Haven't been able to run, play ball, catch, or anything like that. So
it's going to be weird and new.
She's in her first car ride that she's had in a long time.
Right.
And she finally got out, and she was trying to run. Well, someone
run and play, not run away.
Someone thought that they would make a makeshift harness that wrapped around her belly and to keep her from pulling, and it really didn't. All it did was squeeze her belly to the point where it hurt.
And hips.
Yeah, to the point where she actually almost snapped because it hurt so bad. She was trying to get it off of her. So I was like, you know what? I'm screw this. I know a little bit more about training dogs than this other person. I'm gonna fix it my way. And sure enough, she became real sweet. She was staying next to us. Yes, she wanted to pull and all this other stuff. Well,
she wanted to go and explore.
Yeah, she wanted to go run.
Yeah,
she was in a
good mood. She was out for the first time. I mean, it was a little cool outside, but it was still a nice day for the most part. So she wanted to go and play.
What's great is that it wasn't so cold that she was shaking.
That's right.
And then this family pulled up in this nice SUV. They come out. There's 4 of them: mom, dad, brother, sister. And they come straight to her. They were immediately drawn to her.
Right.
They were playing with her. She was jumping and she was barking at the other dog there. She was acting extremely hyper. Like there was absolutely no training.
Like love at first sight.
Yeah, but she was acting like a fool. She was not behaving whatsoever. But it was because it was our first time out.
Right.
And you were so gracious to go down and buy dog treats over at the Kmart down the street. And the treats is what did it. The treats was the reason for this wonderful story.
So let's tell everybody what happened.
Well, they fell in love. They saw how gentle she was with the treats. They saw how this little pit bull was able to take a treat out of my mouth so gingerly to make sure that she didn't hurt me whatsoever.
You had a bacon treat.
Yeah, one of those bacon strips.
Bacon strips. Now, let me ask you a question. I know this is a little weird, but
no, I did not taste it.
What do they taste like?
I did not taste it.
Really?
No.
Okay. Well, it was in your mouth.
It wasn't in my mouth. It was like my lips.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't have some kind of flavor on your lips.
I stuck a cigarette further in my mouth than I did that treat. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because the thing is, if the dog was going to get my lips, I could pull back quickly.
Again, on a side note, another side note, congratulations again on being smoke-free. You're still continuing.
Yeah, and there was people smoking all around me there.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, we are proud to actually announce that
this little pit bull just got adopted. Her name is now Coco.
Let's go to the family and actually hear firsthand from the family who adopted Coco.
Yes.
So sit back and enjoy actually listening to this family talk about adopting this dog.
Lay down. Hello, everybody. We are on location at Aaron's Rental here in Rolla, and we are with PCAWL doing an adoption event, trying to adopt out some pets that were at the Rolla Animal Shelter and such. Right now, I am with
Ginger Moreland,
and you just adopted a beautiful pitty mix. And tell us what brought you out here.
I saw it on Facebook. Caden had lost his Labrador a few weeks ago, and he really needed another dog.
Like a companion?
Yeah.
What drew you guys to her?
Just,
luck, I guess.
Yeah, it's just, luck. We showed up, and she just kind of took to us, and we took to her, and we just, we didn't even go to the store. We was going to go to the store and think about it, and we just drove around town and turned around and came back, and
because what it looked like to me, it was instant love.
Yeah.
Just an instant connection to your son, and just an instant connection to you guys. What are you guys planning on naming her?
Coco.
Everybody agrees on Coco?
Yeah.
She's putting a butt on me.
This is the one that first thought of the name and is like, yeah.
Normally, the first name's the name that you should pick, anyways.
Yeah.
You know, the first one that comes to you is always the
she
most
looks like
important.
a Coco. Caden's been writing down names past week of what he would name his new dog and stuff. And
sometimes you can't pick a name until you actually see the pet right there in front of you.
And Coco was not on there.
So what are some of the things that Coco was doing out here that made you feel more comfortable, like this was the one for you?
She was gentle. That's our main of watching her and stuff. She was gentle. And when we was feeding her treats, she was very gentle and taking them out of our hand. She was not taking our whole hand.
Exactly, because if they get a little too, hey, I want my treat, they're going to take a finger with you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is fantastic. We wish you the best of luck with her, and you have my information. Always give me a call if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So that's firsthand of the family, and right as they finalized the paperwork, everything was in, the dog was going in the car, so we actually interviewed them while they were in the car. Great outcome.
Well, what was great too is that they were like, okay, well, we're going to look at the other dogs at the pound or the shelter, and we'll think about it.
And what did I say when they drove away? You and I were standing next to each other, and I said, they're going to turn around. They're going to make it halfway, which they made it further. They made it all the way. But I predicted that they would make it halfway, turn around and go, nope, you know what, we found our dog. So, and what a sad story. Their dog had just been hit by a car a few weeks ago, devastated the family. This event really was that moment for them. It made a difference in their life. I thought that was amazing. And the dog's about 2 years old, so they're going to have plenty of years to enjoy.
Yes, definitely. And when they left and they came back, they said their heart dropped. And they were freaking out because as they pulled up, there was a couple speaking to you while you were holding on to her, and they were looking at her and petting her. They thought it was done, and then when they walked up and you guys were still talking, you can see their fingers are fidgeting. They wanted their attention. They wanted that dog. They wanted to do everything they could to get that dog.
I actually was a little afraid when I was talking to this couple. I was afraid that they were interested in actually adopting the pet. I think they were considering the idea, and I had mentioned when they pulled up, I go, well, this vehicle that just pulled up, they were looking at this dog, and they were really seriously considering adopting. And I think that they were more interested in the concept of, I wonder if they'll adopt, and then they kind of realized right away, hey, this family is actually going to adopt this dog, and it was a great story.
And they saw those, the kids and the mom and dad standing there. It was
rewarding. It was a rewarding moment.
While the paperwork was getting processed and everything was getting taken care of, the mom and daughter took off to get a harness and a collar and a leash for Coco. Well, when they were gone for a while.
They were gone for a while.
And I looked over, and you can see, because the dog was really for the boy. It was there for the son. And the son was just looking at this dog with just this deep love in his eyes for this dog. It was just like instantaneous bond. And once I showed him a few tips and pointers on how to properly walk the dog that is high energy, that bond got stronger. And I'm just standing there at the event. They're further off on their own because then another aggressive dog showed.
Well, so a dog aggressive showed, not another.
Not another, like there's more than one. But I looked over, and they were just sitting together. She was giving them kisses. I gave them that bag of dog treats.
Yeah, that was part of
strips.
The two things that were contingent with this adoption was, well, three, I'm sorry. The actual family was able to get a $50 voucher to have their dog spayed and that was courtesy of PCAWL. We offered up a free bath brush, nails, which full bath brush, which is the only thing you're going to be able to really do with that dog anyway. But a free groom, which I'll give them. Hopefully they'll come in on Monday. I hope they do. That'll be free, and we gave them the bag of begging strips as well.
Yes, because that bag of begging strips made the difference. If we didn't have those treats, if you didn't go down and get those treats, we would not have been able to show how gentle she was. We weren't able to get her attention long enough to stop jumping and pulling. And then, as they were walking, she was more interested in looking up at him for that treat than what she can get to next around the corner.
Yeah, she didn't care anything around her. She only cared about him now.
That it was just total excitement about food, and she's food motivated. I told him this is important.
Yeah.
It is very important for them to be food motivated because it'll be easier to get through everything.
And another thing that was a real uplifting moment was they were sitting, they were walking back and forth with the dog, and then they sat down, and Coco laid down right next to them, right at their feet, and that's a huge sign right there. That's everything. That lets you know that that dog is now comfortable with these people. Now,
and with the son.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so now it's a bond that has now started, and so quickly it actually happened. So, it's a proud moment.
That was one of my highlights in my life right there too of adoption and doing volunteer work. Was that I got to see it come together.
Yeah, the whole thing. Every piece came to the puzzle.
They were worried that they weren't going to get the dog. They were like, well, we'll go see what's around. But that son had his eye out for that dog. And he looked at the other ones. The mom said he gave it a try. He tried to connect with the other dogs. It's just there was no connection. But there was with her.
And again, you know what? We don't always pick our animals. Our animals do pick us.
Yeah.
So this is one of those moments. It was the animal picked him. This dog picked him, and he picked this dog. So, if there's anything I want everybody to take away from this story is go out, try to volunteer. We talk about this on a constant basis. If you can't volunteer, there's always something to do. We just want to be able to actually share our part. We'll give up money and give a free groom. We will give up time. All that is easy to do for us because we're actually making a difference. And then when we put it out here on this podcast, it's so that everybody around the world, you guys can hear about it and you guys can say, well, maybe there's something I can do. So if there's anything you're going to take away, just realize that there are people out there and people who are much better than us, who are doing much more than us, that we wish we could be more like.
Yeah.
So you may look at what we're doing and go, I wish I was doing what they're doing. Just remember, there's people like us who are saying, we wish that we were doing what others are doing, who could do more. And it's just that constant drive to want to actually do more for the voiceless and to actually be out there.
That
summarize it all.
Yeah, you nailed it. But another thing is that there's so many people out there who don't volunteer because they don't quite care for humanity itself. People themselves are rude, they're obnoxious, they tend to put themselves in their position that they're in now, that they need help from. But if you're like that, and there are some people who are like that, they're antisocial.
They're not listening to this show though.
But they might be.
Well,
go and volunteer with the pets.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, that dog, that cat, that bunny, any animal that you're working with needs a home and still needs to be loved.
Yeah.
So even if you might not care for people, that animal still needs you.
Yeah. There's something out there that needs you. Whether it is, like Sarah said, a dog, a cat, a bird, a lizard, another human. There's somebody out there who needs somebody. And, we have that gift in life that we can actually do that. Everybody does. You do. We do. Everybody does. We found our way of giving back. Hope that, you guys, if you guys do already, you're amazing. You're already light years ahead.
Oh, and then I caught something that could have been very bad. The 3 kittens that were there, one was a little calico female that is all fixed and ready to go home, or ready to go to a home. I noticed a scab on top of her head. Well, when it's a shelter animal, you never know what could have happened before it got to the shelter. It was just drying up.
Right.
Well, I got some peroxide. Peroxide eats away at any kind of scab. It also eats away at blood. So if you end up with some kind of blood on your clothes, you put a little peroxide on it, it eats it away, and the blood's gone. Tip 101. No. So I put some peroxide on it, and I started wiping away the scab, and I pulled apart the hair to see if the skin healed. It didn't. So when I pulled apart the hair, all of a sudden a big old gush of pus came up. And it was a pus pocket about the size of a $50 almost.
Oh no.
A 50-cent piece.
Yeah.
It was huge. And so between the girls and I, we got all that pus and stuff up and out, all the nastiness that went along with it, cleaned up around it so you can see what happened. It was a single puncture hole, and it was on top of the head, right where that scab, underneath the scab. And I was feeling back behind the neck. Well, the pus pocket went down the neck. And so right away, Jewel gets on the phone with John from the shelter and says, John, this cat's got to get to the vet. It's got this massive infection. So if I didn't think to put peroxide on it to get the scab off, no one would have known that there was a pus pocket there.
And there was a family there who was there to adopt that kitten. Sadly enough, because it was unadoptable at the moment because it needs to go on antibiotics, it went to go see the vet. John immediately left the shelter and drove out to where we were at.
That was quick.
I was surprised he didn't put his lights on because he was there fast.
He was scared.
Yeah, he got there very fast, and the kitten actually made it to the vet.
We don't know the rest of it. We'll find out.
We'll find out more. I'm hoping to remember to do this. John Redshaw will be on our Thanksgiving episode. I've already talked to him many times about this. He's ready to go. We'll have him on very soon. It may be episode 102. That's what I'm thinking.
Somewhere around there.
Yep, somewhere around there.
We'll get it done this month.
Yep. But we'll try to get an update on that one for you guys. I'm pretty sure that mother and daughter will be going to the shelter to adopt the kitten anyway.
John loves the animals there so much that he is very strict on how these dogs are treated, how these cats are treated, what can be done to get them better.
Right.
And pulling resources that need to be pulled to get pets taken care of.
Yeah, he's on top of it. That's another reason why
they're not just some strays to him.
No, they're
not some wild dogs to him.
No.
Each and every one of them has a name, that he has for them, or each of them have a bonding moment somehow. So it was great how.
I know it's a week late. I saw him in person today. I wished him happy birthday. Last Saturday was John Redshaw's birthday. Happy birthday, John. Facebooked him on it. Told you when you were over there to say happy birthday because I didn't think I'd see him. I saw him and was able to say happy birthday. Big deal for me to be able to say that to him. I will want to again thank Aaron's for allowing this to happen. I'm hoping that this builds a really good relationship between PCAWL, Aaron's, and more events, because I talked to Kim and she said we're planning on doing more. So
we need to do an event like this right before Super Bowl.
That's in February, I think.
So it's still
not.
Really
no.
Well, I mean, before the World Series, happens, we need to have an event.
We need to do
something. Something before a major TV thing is going to happen, because that's when people are going to be buying. I want a big old TV for this. So.
Yeah, we'll somehow we'll figure out a way to actually lock in errands and some more stuff, because they've now become they're on my radar, they're on your radar because of everything. So thank you to you guys. If you guys are around the Rolla area, please stop in the errand store. Say hi to Kim. Thank her for everything she's done, because she is an animal lover, and without people like Kim, we pretty much would all be in trouble. So, really appreciate that. Thank you to the owner of Aaron's for all that he's doing.
And allowing the event to take place on property.
Maybe we'll have him on at some point. He can sit down with us. That would be really fun. Thank you to Phelps County Animal Welfare League for putting on this event today, and thank you for inviting us to be part of it. It's always very important that, you know, we're involved. We love being involved with you guys. And I think that's my.
I think it's pretty covered our love that we have for everything that just happened.
Yeah. So I guess that concludes episode 101. Gosh, I can't believe we're this far into it already. Well, I'm your co-host Chris Green.
This is Sarah Green, making sure. Yeah, what did I do? What did I do?
Making sure everybody realizes life is short. Play with your pets.
There you go, because you didn't end yours normal. So
I did end mine normal. Have a pet-tastic week.
See? That's what you were supposed to say, and then I was supposed to say...
Okay, let's try this again.
Okay, let's try it again.
All right, I'm Chris Green. Have a pet-tastic week.
And I'm Sarah Green, making sure everybody realizes life is short. Play with your pet.
Claire?
Have a good day with your pet. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, gotta go at my bedtime.
Was without doubt the worst episode ever. Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.
They're still doing a podcast?